Hello, we continue dividing decimals by whole numbers, except in this video, I'm going to show you how we do this and trim our answer correct to one decimal place. That's in exercise 13, or similarly, we're dividing our decimal and write it correct to two decimal places. This is a new language for you guys and in 5th grade. So how do we find quotients in quote correct to one decimal place? Step 1, divide to two decimal places, and step 2, round your quotient to one decimal place. Let's practice this. And I hope it's going to make more sense in a few minutes. So again, we're going to continue looking at simple equations. Notice again, nothing fancy. We're only dividing by whole numbers. Divide by 3, by 9, by 7, by 8. We're not doing anything more challenging, learning on simple examples. So let's take a look at example A, 21.2 divide by 3. Long division is our best friend in this exercise. You will do a lot of long division. 21.2 divide by 3. Does 3 go into 2? No, we place 0 in the quotient, grab the next digit. Does 3 go into 21? Yes, 3 goes into 21. Notice how we cross the border of the decimal place point, and we must put it in the quotient and continuing our long division. 3 times 7 is 21. Ignore the decimal point. It's already done, taken care of. 0 is the remaining. Then we place 2, bring down 2. 3 goes into 2 at 0 times. Not a problem, 0 times. Are we done? No, we are not done. We need to find another decimal place. So 3 times 0 is 0. Now does 3 go into 20? Yes, 3 goes into 20. 3 goes into 26 times, and therefore our answer is, oh my friends, forget 3 goes into 20. We only need one decimal place. So we already finished with one decimal place, and therefore part 2, we're going to round it, and this becomes 0.7. 0.7. I'm sorry for confusing you. Let's solve example B. I'm going to copy it long division way. 47.2 divide by 9. Does 9 go into 4? No. Does 9 go into 47? Yes, 9 goes into 47 5 times. 5 times 9, or 9 times 5 is 45. Let's find the remainder. Remainder is 2. Bring down the next digit, which is 2. Does 9 go into 22? Yes, 9 goes into 22 2 times. 9 goes into 22 2 times. Notice we crossed the decimal place, and therefore we must place it back into our quotient and continue dividing as usual. 9 times 2 is 18. Find the remainder, that is 3. Are we done? No, we're not done. We must divide to two decimal places. So we're bringing down a trailing 0. 9 goes into 30. 3 times it is 27, and of course we're going to have those remainders, but that is all we need. We need to divide to two decimal places. And now part 2, let's round our quotient. 5.23 to the first decimal place rounds to 5.2. So it is 5.2. Third example, C. Again, long division is our friend today. A lot of long division, my friends. We must divide and find two decimal places. Let's go. 29.6 divide by 7. 7 goes into 29 4 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Remainder is 1. Bring down the 6. 7 goes into 16 2 times. Oh, we just crossed the decimal point. Let's make sure we place it into our quotient and continue dividing per usual. 7 times 2 is 14. The remainder is 2. Are we done? No, my friends. We must find two decimal places. Right now, we only have one. So let's bring down the trailing 0. Does 7 goes into 20? Yes. 2 times. 2 times 7 times 2 is 14. We are done. We don't need to go any farther. We found two decimal places, and now step 2, we must round it. 4.22 round to the first decimal place is 4.2. Our quotient is 4.2. That's all that was needed to be done because we only were looking for the quotients with a single decimal place because that is what was asked. That's what was asked in the question. Round it to one decimal place. Again, just to summarize what we've done so far, use long division as per usual, and then find two decimal places. Divide and find two decimal places. Don't go any further. Round to one decimal place. Now, the next example, number 14, we must round our answer correct to two decimal places. Now, that is a little bit more math, right, than what we've done so far, but don't fret. How do we do it? Step one, divide and find three decimal places. Step two, round our quotients to two decimal places. Step one, divide. Step two, round. Let's practice this again. Look at what is being asked from us. I'm in number 15. Find the value of each of the following correct to two decimal places. We're going to go in a two-step fashion. What are we going to do? We're going to first find, let me copy and paste the image so I can have a beautiful whiteboard because I need it. I need lots of space for my long division. So again, find the value. It's a two-step process. Step one, divide and find three decimal places. Step two, round your answer to two. Lots of long division. Let's go, friends. 0.77. I'm an example A. Divide by 9. Okay, long division, the same algorithm as before. 9 goes into 0, definitely 0 times. 9 goes into 7, 0 times. I just crossed the border of the decimal place. I must put the decimal place right there and then into my quotient and continue with long division. Does 9 go into 77? Yes, it goes 8 times. 9 times 8 is 72. The remainder is 5. Are we done? No, we only found two decimal places. We need a third one. Therefore, trailing 0 comes down. 9 goes into 50 5 times. 9 times 5, 45. We don't care about the remainder because we found three decimal places. Now, let's conclude our work. Let's do the step 2. We did step 1, we found three decimal places, and now let's round it to two decimal places, and it's 0.09. Here the quotient is 0.09. It is rounded correct to two decimal places. Let's do another example. This is difficult material, lots of math in this chapter. 62.7 divide by 7. 62.7 divide by 7. I'm on example B. The 7 goes into 62. Oh, it goes into 63 9 times, but we don't have 63, so therefore 8 times. 7 times 8 is 56. We find the remainder, and the remainder is 6. Let's bring down the next digit. 67. 7 goes into 67. 9 times. My friends, do not forget, as soon as you cross the border of the decimal point, we must place it right there and then into our quotient, and we continue in division, right? We continue our division. 7 times 9 is 63, and the remainder is 4. Are we done? No, we need three decimal places. So we continuing with trailing zeros. Bring down the trailing zeros. 7 goes into 40. 7 goes into 40. 5 times. 7 times 5 is 35. Are we done? No, we need a third decimal place. And 5 is the remainder. Another trailing zero is going to come down. 7 goes into 50. 7 goes into 50. 7 times, of course, 7 times. 7 times 7 is 49. And we are done with long division. We're done for now because now is the time to round. 8.957. Let's round it to two decimal places. We find the second place, look next door, find the 7th place, look next door, and we have 8.96. The quotient is 8.96. Let's do one more, last example. Lots of long division today, lots of long division. Again, I'm going to copy example C. 9.65 divide by 8. So 8 goes into 9, thankfully 1 times. 8, remainder is 1. We bring down the 6. 8 goes into 16 2 times. Notice we cross the decimal point and we must place that into our quotient. Now 8 times 2 is 16. The remainder is 0. Bring down the 5. Does 8 go into 5? No, but we must place 0 into our quotient. Are we done? No, my friends, we are not done. We need 3 decimal places in our quotient. So we're bringing another 0. 8 goes into 50. How many times 8 goes into 50? 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. And of course, it will go down and continue, but we don't need that anymore because we found what we're looking for. We found 3 decimal places, and therefore we can now round to the second decimal place, 1.21. Notice, we need the second place. We'll look right next door, and it will be 1.21. I hope you found this lesson useful. It is quite difficult, a lot of math, a lot of long division. My friends, please keep in mind, we must divide first to 3 decimal places, and step 2, as soon as we get 3 decimal places, we do a rounding to 2 decimal places to the hundreds. Each of your answers must contain hundreds, Why? Because that is what the problem asked from the very beginning.